Today this is Parkland College Radio, home of the Cobras. Today, this is DJ Sean Caddy, and I got my special guest today, which is known as a coach around here, but I know him as simply Anthony Figueroa. Anthony Figueroa, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Now, I wanted to start an interview saying that let's talk about your coach and all that, but I've known you for quite a while, going all the way back to middle school, and I've seen you play basketball, and let me tell you, I've always admired watching you play out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
In my mind, I always say, man, I wish I was out there on the court playing like him because, you know, you had it going on. And but the first thing I want to know is who inspired you in the basketball? Where did this all begin?
That's interesting. Normally the question is like, who are your coaching influences or something like that. But in terms of just inspiring me to play, man, I just, ever since I can remember, I just wanted to play. I can go as far back as when we were living at Bradley McKinley, and you know, they had a court there, but the little kids couldn't play on the court, so you just had to kind of make up your own game. And I mean, that's what I did, and it's just always been in me. It's just always been a passion. Even when I wasn't good, you know, when I was sitting the bench in middle school and just cheering for the other guys and being a goofball, it's just something that I always loved. From a player perspective, the first person I can remember loving to watch play was probably Magic Johnson, and to me, he could just do no wrong.
Magic Johnson, that's interesting. Because one thing I see now how you got in common with Magic Johnson is that you like to smile a lot in school. You're always smiling, always joking. But when it came down to that court, it was all business. Yeah,
I've never thought about it like that. I liked the way he played. I always felt like he played it the right way, that he was unselfish, but he was a leader, and there was no question about it. And he did whatever his team needed him to do to win games. If that meant he had to go score 40, then he did that. While at the same time still making sure that he had his 10 to 12 assists and his 10 to 12 rebounds, you know, when it called for. So that was my mindset. I just thought he was the epitome of a basketball player by his ability to do everything on the floor.
Wow. Now, for someone that has his exact stats like that, that meant that you really paid attention.
I'm a stat guy. I'm a facts guy. I like to argue. So when you like to argue, you gotta make sure you got your facts lined up. So yeah, I'm a person that I like to look at stats. I think, you know, there's some truth in numbers, and you can see some things just by reading stat sheets and knowing the history and facts of a player or the game itself.
Now, I want to go to a time, let's fast forward. Well, we still back in the past, but I want to take it back to 95. And that was the year, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 94, 95 was your hottest year?
It was the 94-95 year.
Exactly. And the principal, the deans, everybody had a big party, big celebration, big type of acknowledgement for the Centennial Chargers. The gyms were packed. All we look forward to see, there's Anthony Figueroa, there's Sonny Walker, and there's everybody else. But you was one of the main players out there that everybody paid attention to.
That's probably because I was arrogant and cocky, and I demanded people to look at me like, wow, while I was playing. I don't know if it was necessarily always because I was actually doing well, as much as I was just trying to bring attention to myself at times. And that's what you do when you're young. But no, we have really good players. You mentioned Sonny. We had Carvel Ammons, who was a year younger than us, Luke Sahi, Brandon Kaufman. Those guys, they could all play. We had multiple Division I guys. We had Division I guys just sitting on the bench, not even playing. So the team was very good. We were very close. I think everybody understood their role. There was no animosity towards the guys that were playing as versus the guys who weren't. I think they understood the situation, in that there were some guys in front of them that were better. But in practice every day, they competed. And I think Coach Caradine did a great job of getting everybody to understand that your role is your role, and everybody helps.
Well, with that being said, you have done tremendous things as far as always making the newspaper. There was always some highlights in there about Centennial. Your name often came up. And I started to do some research prior to this interview and say, well, let me bring artists in. I said, no, it's too much to bring in. It's too much to start with. And I had to realize that you inspired a lot of people. We were hoping that one day we would see you in the NBA. At least I did. I mean, and to me, it meant a lot to me at the time because, you know, became a local celebrity, and every time I saw you, you spoke, you greeted. We was always cool. Never had any type of anything as far as that was unpleasant. So I always had a lot of respect for you for that. On top of that, and for you to mention that you had a little arrogance in you, that's the first time I had someone ever admit, you know. So that shows that, you know, you played with your heart. To me, it shows a lot. By the way, but this is Parkland College Radio. This is DJ Sean Caddy, and today is the elusive, the wonderful Coach Anthony Figueroa, and we're just continuing with this interview. Coach, I got a couple things, two more questions to ask. That's very important. When you played for Centennial, before the tip-off started, what was going through your mind?
Oh, I was always nervous. I'm nervous before any and every game I've ever been a part of. Once again, I may not show it externally, but internally, I'm very nervous. I'm very anxious to get the game started. I'm waiting all day, sitting there. You know, when you're in high school, you got to watch the JV team play. You've been thinking about the game all day. You probably didn't sleep well the night before. I'm just anxious to get out there. I just want to get going. So then all the nerves can leave, and you can just just go off instinct and what you've been doing in practice. But definitely nervous. You know, the older I got, the more cerebral I approached the game, and kind of was thinking about the game kind of step by step. You know, how would this play develop? How would we defend this guy? You know, what was the best way that we could do the things that we wanted to do offensively and defensively so that we could win? You know, that started just to come as I got older. And, you know, you realize that, you know, in high school, there's some times where you can be physically better than somebody, and that will take you to victory. Well, as you get older, that becomes more even across the board with somebody being just as athletic as you, and you eventually have to be smarter in some aspects. So, but yeah, definitely nervous, anxious. And then, you know, as I got older, just thinking more and more about the game and what we needed to do to win.
Wow. You know, when I recently volunteered to do a help filming with the basketball game, it was to my surprise to find out you was a coach. And the first thing came to my mind, I said, this is bigger than the NBA, because you had the mindset and the inspiration and the ability to inspire young basketball players. And I saw you at practice the other day, and I never saw a side of a coach like that. And I said, well, that's Anthony. I'm trying to separate the two. That's Anthony. That's Coach Anthony Figueroa. So, and I said to myself, that's a quite an accomplishment, you know, to be there responsible for grooming. I like to say soldiers, but basketball players, because they are your troopers. You know, you responsible for them. They become what your kids. So, the last question I got to ask pertaining to them is, before that tip off, before the basketball team, the Cobras get ready to go, what's going through your mind?
I'm always concerned about us being prepared. I never want to put our guys in position where they're not prepared. And so I tend to constantly go over in my head, did we go over X? Did we go over Y? Did we go over Z? Is there anything else that we haven't prepped for that maybe last minute we can, you know, whether that be via film, via, you know, me just drawing it up on the board, me talking about it, just constantly thinking about making sure that they're prepared as much as we can get them prepared. I just never want one of our guys to step on the floor or something to happen and then their reason be we weren't prepared for that, because that falls solely on me.
Wow. And I'd like to thank you for this interview, because I wanted to get an in-depth look into Coach Anthony Figueroa. And by the way, you guys have a game tomorrow, correct?
We have some scrimmages on Sunday. We travel over to Lincoln College, and we have three exhibition games. They're shortened games, so not full games, but 3 exhibition games. Just another opportunity to see where we're at, play against some different competition, engage some of the guys and some of the young guys and see how they're coming along.
Wow, thank you again, Coach Anthony Figueroa. And if Parkland College Radio don't know that this is the coach to watch, check the team out, check his stats, his credibility is all there. We have a local celebrity in the building, and it was so kindly of him to be here, which gave me a better insight of his world and his mind and how he motivates and inspires people. Thank you.
All right, thank you.